Hi everyone, this is Jane here from Crystal Sparkles Readings. I'm just here to pop down our couple of cards for this week. So as usual, I'm using the Black and White Tarot, Falconer deck, Black and White Falconer deck, sorry. So I'll just have a little shuffle of those and we'll pop down a card or two. So our first card for this week is the Devil. Okay, so the Devil is, I mean, people freak out about the Devil, but honestly, I really wouldn't. It's kind of a heads up, really. It asks you about looking at some repeated patterns. It asks you what are you kind of feeling in terms of your freedom. So the Devil can talk about you feeling a bit trapped when actually you're not a bit trapped, or feeling really anxious and worried and fearful. And what the Devil does is it kind of gives you a bit of a heads up, really, and asks you to look at that and see what it is that you're fearful of, and if you can release yourself from those fears. And quite often we can, much more easily than we think we can. So that's what the Devil is all around, really. I mean, it does talk about having sort of mischievous overtones, but in general, and a card for today, I would say, or a card for the beginning of the week, this is asking you to look at maybe what your fears are, what patterns you're repeating, and what you might need to release in order to not keep repeating those patterns. And that kind of brings me quite nicely onto the fact that we've got a full moon tomorrow. So it's almost full tonight, and then I think it's 99% illuminated tomorrow and the following day, so Tuesday, Wednesday. So we've got 3 good days now to really work on releasing anything that is holding us back, releasing our fear, releasing our anxiety, releasing those things that trap us, where we feel like we might be tied into something, and so it's about working on that and releasing that. So, and then we have, for the final part of the week, for the last part of the week, the Sun. So, you know, the Sun does say that this is a happiness and joy card. So once we have released those fears and released those anxieties and let go of that feeling of being trapped, it leads us to this place where we can feel much more joyful. It's interesting. I mean, this is the Sun card, but it does, you know, they're black and white, these images, so that it could look like a moon. And the full moon is on the 19th. So it's very interesting that we've got this whole, you know, energy around the full moon. I just feel like the full moon is really quite significant this month. It's very powerful. It is a super moon, I believe, which is the one that's very close to the Earth. So it does have a lot of power over us. And the energy is a little bit disrupted at the moment because we're coming into that energy. I mean, I don't know about you, but I did not sleep at all last night. I was awake, you know, kept being woken up every hour. So that quite often happens to me when we've got a very powerful, strong full moon energy. So, you know, kind of ride it out, go with it. And, you know, the energy does pass. It does pass. And in terms of that kind of wakefulness that it can create for us. So I would just say to you, just be aware that your emotions might be quite high. Those emotions may be around this card, you know, a fearful. What am I fearful of? What am I frightened of? How do I feel about that? Why am I feeling so sad? Why am I feeling emotional? Well, A, it's full moon. And B, we've got this Devil energy here that is just sort of saying, you know, don't just keep doing the same thing and over and over and over again. That's the first sign of madness, isn't it? Doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So that's what the Devil is asking us to do at the beginning of this week, which is when we have the full moon. Just going to have a little swig of my tea. Excuse me for 1 second. That's better. So I'm just going to pop down one of these Spirit Animal Oracle cards. this Colette Baron Reid's cards. I'm actually really excited because I've got on pre-order, which is due to arrive here tomorrow. Very hopeful that it will. The Goddess Oracle that she's just produced. I'm not really into the whole goddesses thing. And feminine energy and stuff like that. I'm not particularly comfortable with, you know, what has to be masculine, what has to be feminine, and I don't think it really matters, to be honest. But I decided I would order it and see how I got on with it, challenge myself a little bit. So I've got to be waiting for that tomorrow, so hopefully that will come. And when it does, I will do an unboxing video so that we can all have a look at it. But for now, we've got the animal one. And the animal one is the swan. So the message on the Swan Spirit card is time for a deep dive. Now, when I think of swans, I tend to think of swans as a bit like Two of Cups energy. You know, that kind of energy where you are really in tune with either with yourself or with somebody else. So this is what I think of when I come to swans. I'm just having a look in her book because she says this is time for a deep dive. And the other cards around this and the full moon energy suggest that that's the more powerful message. So I'm just going to have a little look and I will read you what she says. Because as I've said to you before, these guidebooks that Colette Baron Reid does are good because, you know, it's not always the same message with each card. I mean, I do it intuitively. And when I look at that card, I'm really drawn to the pink in it. So I'm thinking, be gentle, be kind, be patient with yourself. You know, this doesn't have to be about someone else. This can be with yourself. So I'm just going to read you what her book says. It says, with their graceful long necks, swans are able to reach into the depths. When the swan arrives, you are called to take a deep dive beyond what is easily available on the surface. You may think what is best for you now, but take the plunge into the depths of your awareness, for there is knowledge you are not aware of and greater treasures to discover. So this is the kind of a bit like the digging deeper card in her other decks, you know, like the one with the all the little diamonds in the cave. That card is really, really similar to that energy. You know, when you're pushed to dive deeper, you know, into yourself or into a situation, that's where you find the real gems. That's where you find your real strength. So it's all about deeper understanding, self-knowledge. Part of that sort of self-knowledge is to do with this, what do I need to release? Really good time to do like a full moon spread. Ask your cards, if you work with cards, what do I need to release? If you don't have cards and you don't work with cards, ask your angels to show you signs. What do I need to release? And be aware of those signs coming everywhere. They can come in the form of looking at a number plate of a car, seeing a specific bird or an animal. They could be on the TV. They could be out of your window. They could be while you're out and about. Just be open to those signs at the moment. So this is I love the swan card. So this energy of delving deeper is relevant when it comes to that, because that's what the message is in her book. I'm particularly drawn to the pink. So the pink to me is be gentle, love yourself. Don't beat yourself up. When we're in this devil energy, there's a tendency to beat ourselves up for that. I'm going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's because I can't get out of the habit, blah, blah, blah. You can, the sun says you can. And the swan says you can as well. You just have to dig a little bit deeper than you think you need to go. And the answers are there. Ask your guides for signs or cards if you've got cards. I will leave that with you for now. Have a great energy. Stay kind of relaxed and chilled and trying to let this full moon energy wash over you a little bit. It's a little bit intense. I will leave that with you. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.